The final match of Liverpool's pre-season has taken the team from Scotland to Switzerland via a little refuelling in Evian. The fans out in force as the Reds break off from their training camp in France to hop over the border for Game 7 of the summer. It is Liverpool against Lyon from the Stade de Geneve. The whole match is live on LFCTV and LFCTV GO at 6 o'clock UK time. Please be aware, rights can vary country to country. Hey, welcome to Matchday Live. Gary Gillespie and Stephen Warnock are my guests in the studio. It is the final game of pre-season, Gary. At this stage, ahead of the new campaign, where do you want to be at as a player? What capacity are you at?
Well, it's difficult because all players are really at different levels, isn't it? And that's the problem the manager has when there's anybody that's coming back from a major tournament in the summer. And that's the juggling act that he has to perform. And, you know, from a player's point of view, I think you want to be fit and ready to go. But match fit, possibly not. I don't think there's too many players, if any of the players, have actually had a full 90 minutes under their belt. So, again, it'll be a little bit interesting to see tonight whether he gives a couple of the players a full 90 minutes or whether he makes a lot of changes, because obviously he's got a lot more players coming back into the team, and you would expect them to have to play some sort of part in the game to get them ready for maybe next week.
Some of the big guns are back for this game, Steve. What does that do to a dressing room when, you know, those star names return, be it club or be it country?
Well, we haven't seen a lot of transfer activity. We've seen a couple of young players come into the squad. So for the players that are already there, it's a lift when you get your big names back into the squad, because they have been missing them. There's no two ways about it. They've missed them over the pre-season. They're key to everything that's good about what happened in the last couple of seasons. So it'd be nice to get them back and fit, ready for the games, but it's just how Jürgen Klopp handles them. I think this is his biggest test as a manager at Liverpool this year. Because of how he deals with them players coming back, how he integrates them back into the squad and how quickly he does it.
A bit of a juggling act for the manager ahead in these coming weeks. OK, well, let's run through the starting 11 first for tonight's game. And the big guns are back. All the players who returned to training at the start of the week are included from the off in Switzerland this evening. It's Alisson Becker in goal, back four. Yasser Larouci, who is fit to play despite that nasty knock he took over in Boston. Then is Dejan Lovren, Joe Gomez, Keanu Hoover. Adam Lallana playing at 6. Naby Keita, Xherdan Shaqiri either side of him. And Harry Wilson, Bobby Firmino and Mo Salah across that front line. Worth reminding you of the subs available to the manager today. We expect to make a good few changes through the course of the 90 minutes. Some of the younger players have, of course, remained back in the UK to train with the academy sides, but still plenty of options for the manager should he wish to shuffle his pack through the course of this game. Yeah, it's an interesting call, Stephen, to throw in guys so soon after returning from the holidays. What do you make of his choice to do so?
I think they'll have known they were going to play in the game. So maybe a week ago you get a phone call, make sure you come back in ready, you are going to play some part in the game. Because they won't have trained much at all, a couple of runs here and there. So will he have just said today, right, you're actually playing some game time and that's it, you're going to have to get on with it? I can't see that happening. The good thing is that when you go into games, you know that you're going to do a proper workout. It's a proper training session. Sometimes you can sort of try and ease yourself into it. These guys haven't got that time to get eased into it, so they're going to have to get into it, try and get as much out of themselves as they can without pushing themselves to the point of getting injured.
I guess that the return of those forward players is a big boost, because in pre-season games so far we've lacked the link-up, we've lacked a little bit of that pace down at the flanks at times, which obviously Bobby Firmino and then Mo Salah bring.
Yeah, I think when you look at the games that they've played so far pre-season, there've been some, you know, good opposition, but Liverpool haven't really performed how we know Liverpool can perform. And I think Steve touched on it earlier on there, that Liverpool are so reliant on that front three. And especially, I think, Firmino as well, who kind of brings everything together, brings that midfield three into like the game to play alongside the likes of Salah and Mane and himself. So it's a big plus for them to come back. I think you look at the team like that he's picked tonight, and there is quite a bit of a mixture, isn't there? But you know, the guys that have come in, the likes of Firmino, the likes of Salah, they've not been long finished actually playing football. I know they've had a break, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, but in this modern day era of like sports science and things like that, and the guys are so fit these days anyway, I don't think it's a big deal that they come straight back into a game But will they be 100% fit? Will they be pushing themselves 100%? Probably not. But it's probably a nice way to ease themselves back into that kind of mode and to try to get themselves ready for next week. And for me, most importantly, the weekend, Friday night against Norwich.
I guess it's an opportunity for the players who've just returned to both show the manager and themselves they are ready to feature either on Sunday or next Friday as well.
Well, that's exactly it. You want to play on the biggest stage. You want to play in every game. You can see that when they're not playing in games, they get frustrated. That's what top quality players do. They want to score as many goals as they can, especially that front three that you've got. So, yeah, they'll be chomping at the bit to get back, especially after the summer that especially Alisson's had and Firmino. They've won another title in the Copa America. They'll be itching to get back and wanting to get success again. I think Alisson spoke about it when he came back. He said 2 trophies in last season for him, and he's hungry for more. So that's the type of appetite that you want the players to have, and especially when they're coming back to Liverpool.
Yeah, success can breed more success. Another guy who's come back into the fold tonight we haven't touched on, Yasser Larouci, when he went off in the game in Boston, a nasty challenge. What was an ill-tempered pre-season friendly against Sevilla. We wondered how long he'd be out for. It didn't look good at first, but fantastic to see the young lad up and running so soon.
Yeah, well, young bones and young muscles, I think, tend to go a little bit quicker than maybe certainly older players. But I mean, it was a horrendous tackle. I mean, it wasn't even a tackle. It was just a flail of the foot, wasn't it? And he was lucky, the young lad, that it wasn't more seriously hurt than what he was. But I've watched him a couple of times, and I think, as I say it so often, like these young guys that come through academy levels and things like that, they've got all the technique and all the ability in the world. Just need to learn the game, when to make passes, when to dribble, when not to dribble, and when to hit it like long, play safe. And I think that will come, but I think the basics are there. A little bit like Hoover as well. We saw him come on at the weekend and play left back as well. Again, he's very, very talented young individual. Both have got pace and both have got ability on the ball. But as I say, they've just got to learn how to harness that and play in the right areas of the pitch.
Yeah, he's one of the young boys who's kind of jumped the queue at the moment, you would think, towards first-team football, especially his left-back cover. On the other side of things, Keanu Hoover today signed his first pro contract. He is on a vast upward trajectory, that boy. He is not hanging about, hardly been at the club 2 minutes, and he just makes stride after stride after stride. OK, we've just been speaking a little bit earlier about the returning Mo Salah and Bobby Firmino, and they both form part of our poll ahead of tonight's game. We are asking you how many goals do you think that they, along with their teammate Sadio Mane, will score this season in all competitions. Mane, of course, returns to training on Monday. The options you can vote on via Twitter are under 50 goals, 50 to 69, 70 to 89 or 90 plus goals across the course of the campaign. Vote on Twitter. We'll tell you which answer won before the end of the pre-match programme. Guys, any thoughts? Done a bit of number crunching to work out what it might be?
I'm going for 70 to 89.
I'll go for the one less than that. Was it 50 to 69?
Yeah, 69. So you're in the 10 less bracket.
Yeah,
okay,
I think so, yeah.
69 or lower.
69 last season he scored, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'll go with the same again.
Same again. Okie dokie. Let's go head over to Switzerland then. Peter McDowell is speaking with the boss, Jürgen Klopp.
Season comes to an end, Jürgen. How would you assess the game's performances so far?
I was in such a good mood, and you asked that question. Eh? No, it's all good. Yeah, difficult preseason. Was it? I have to say that's clear. Everybody saw that. We had to do kind of a miracle to put all the intensity in a very short time, and play games as well for getting rhythm, and for earning money. That's how it is. So we had these games, and the results obviously were not that good, but we picked out all the good and the bad things, what we anyway do. Spoke about it, worked on it, and while we're doing that, the fresh legs are coming back step by step by step. So I'm not sure about tonight, to be honest. But from now on, then it should be better. That's how it is. It's we're in a brilliant camp now, with sensational surfaces, circumstances. Everything is really, really good, and so we're working on the decisive things, and try to be ready then for Sunday. That's how it is. But tonight the game is, of course, was planned for the guys coming back from from all the different competitions. And yeah, now they start tonight. Play, I think 30 minutes makes sense for them. Then we change. It will be disruptive. I'm not sure if the Lyon guys already know what we do tonight, but we tried to bring them all on the pitch tonight, that everybody gets the right amount of minutes, and then let's see what worked out. But the atmosphere, the mood, everything is now there. Clear direction, everything changed with coming back, when the boys coming back, so quality boost in training and all that stuff. So good moment, but now let's play the game. Let's hope that we don't get any injuries and don't have to talk about something like that. And then, yeah, let's prepare Man City.
Quick one on Keanu Hoover as well today, boss, who signed a new long-term deal. He's done really well, 17 as well, a very young boy, but great news for him today.
Absolutely. When you have the boys constantly around, you forget these things. You forget that they're 17 and Harvey is 16, Sepp is 17, Bobby is 18. That's really, you forget it from time to time, but you have to remind yourself because they are big talents, all of them, and they're really good moments. It was really nice in a very difficult game against Napoli, and then with a sensational atmosphere, when we brought all the young boys together with Adam and Dan, pretty much, and Joe, I think. How lively it was. They didn't feel any pressure. They didn't care about the result or whatever. That was really cool. And Kijana, then on the left-back position, did a wonderful job in that game. So helped him. You could see him the next day in training, was flying and stuff like that. That's how performances are really influential on the boys, on the young boys especially. So it was good, and happy to have him here for the next. How long did he sign? 5, 6, 8? I don't know. For a long time.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, boss.
Jürgen Klopp speaking in advance of tonight's game. Yeah, we look back at the game, Murrayfield at the weekend. The late introduction of Liverpool's answer to One Direction was probably the highlight from our point of view. What went before that was not the best. That was the youngest band I could think of. What do we look at from that game at Murrayfield, Steve? And areas of concern, things that need to be worked, because it was off the boil performance in some ways.
It was, but we were, I think, a little bit critical of them after the game, where we said, well, Jason was sort of critical about the defending, and I was just trying to put a positive on it if you can. But when you haven't got the front three pressing like they press, as in you Salah, Mane and Firmino, when you've got them players pressing up front, suddenly the defensive side of the game is a lot easier because they're winning the ball so much higher up the pitch. And without being disrespectful to the lads who are there now, they don't have that ability to close down like them. They're arguably the best three in the world at closing down from the front, so you're always going to get pressure on the defence. You'll see a completely different team when they're in the team, in the strategy and how they line up. The one thing you will learn is little things like that clip there, Trent showing him down the line, show him on his weaker foot, and Jürgen spoke about it in the interview there where he said, we look at situations which are good, which are bad. That's a bad situation because you've got to learn from that. You've got to understand that even a pre-season game, you've got to stop him scoring a goal.
As Andy Robertson said after to his post-match as well, they usually go and hunt in packs, they close down at the same time, the timing was off, they weren't closing down together, and that's why they were getting caught out as well. Yeah,
probably. I think that becomes, again, we spoke about it on the day where they had a double session the day before a game, and the fans don't see that, the opposition don't see that, but we're privy to that, where we find out what they've got and what they're doing. So you've got to understand that a double session is not easy. It's not just going out and having a little kick about and keep ball or something like that. This is pre-season. This is to get like heavy load into your legs so that you're ready for that first game of the season.
One sort of stat that we carry through pre-season is just one clean sheet. That was in the first game against Tranmere. Do we look at that with any level of worry, Gary, or do you just park that because it's changing teams, it's different personnel, it's different systems, it's teams loaded with a lot of running in their legs prior to games?
Yeah, I think that's me. I mean, like, I look back to my time in pre-season, and I don't think there was too much emphasis put on results and how many goals you scored or how many goals you conceded. I think when you look at that little clip, players are just that little bit yard off, and that's all you need to be. You just need to be a fraction out, and you get punished. But come the start of the season, I'm sure that'll be put right. The full-back areas. Anytime you've got defenders running back towards your own goal, you know that you've messed about somewhere. You've not been in the right sort of position, and I think the emphasis has always been put on this 10 days or something like in Evian, where they really work at things and they really can work together as a group of players, and they'll sort that out. The fitness will come in a gradual process, and once you're fit and you're clued in, you know, sometimes if you're not fit, your mind's not fit as well, and when your mind's not fit, that is when you've got a problem. And I think that's been the case so far this pre-season. Some of their minds are maybe, I don't know, maybe still even on like the Champions League. I think that as soon as we can park the bus about the Champions League, that was last season, that's gone, that's finished. Again, you've got to start from scratch this season and try and be successful.
Is that difficult when it's the first thing you've won?
No.
Talks back to your first trophy. No. Did you find it difficult because the people around you
absolutely not. Absolutely not. The mentality has to be, it's not. Because if you don't have that mentality, you'll never be a great team. And that's, you look at the likes of all the top teams, all the great teams throughout the decades, the Man United who dominated, Man City to a certain extent now. Last season is gone, forget it. It's nothing. It's this season that counts.
I'm going to shelve that in Gary's wise winning words volume, which every so often he throws these things out. The old each game as it comes, etc. They're all in there. Yeah. Good stuff. OK, we'll head back over to Geneva in a moment. But first, a quick reminder that tonight's game is live on LFCTV and LFCTV GO. Kick-off is at 6 p.m. UK time. Please be aware that rights do vary by country. Details of how to sign up can be found on the official website. The address is at the bottom of the screen now. OK, let's head back over to the stadium then. Peter McDowell's tracked someone else down to speak to. It's our good friend, Jason McAteer.
Thank you, gents. Yeah, welcome here. And sat alongside me is a guy that's travelled all over with Liverpool, clocking up the air miles. You know, he's always got a vested interest. Have you enjoyed it, though, the tour so far?
It's been absolutely amazing. I've had such a good time. It's opened my eyes up to the way the modern team travel and the way they do things, but it's just been an amazing experience. Obviously, on the pitch, results probably haven't gone our way, and performances, you know, you could be critical of some of the performances, but there have been circumstances that go against that. You know, he's had a lot of big players missing from the squad. You know, the weather's played its part. It's been difficult, really. You know, some of the games, Sevilla game was disappointing the way they went about things, and you know, it's been good opposition, but like I said, results probably haven't gone for us. And some of the performances have been a little bit off, but hopefully we can get a result tonight.
You referenced the players that are missing, and they all returned tonight. They only came back Monday night to play in a game like this tonight. Does that surprise you that they start the game or not?
Not really, not with the Community Shield on our toes. I mean, obviously they'll travel down to Wembley on Saturday, won't need to prepare for the game on Sunday. I think it's important that they do get some game time. It's been a tough pre-season in that respect for Jürgen Klopp, missing these players because of international commitments, but you know, that's what the modern game throws up these days. But they do need some game time. It's a great pitch, it's ideal. It's an ideal scenario for them to play. Hopefully it'll be a full house here, or at least 25,000, so it'll be good for them to get out there and stretch their legs.
Robert mentioned it when you were talking to him in Edinburgh, didn't he, about, you know, the returning profile of the players, and it was no disrespect to the players that were out there, but it will give them a psychological lift to see all the big hitters back, won't it?
Absolutely. I mean, I used to sit in that dressing room and, you know, just seeing the likes of Stevie Mack and Robbie Fowler walking around ready to go out and play, and you just know you're always in a chance of winning the game when you see them players of that magnitude. You know, you star players. Like you say, that's no disrespect to any of the players that they're going to come in for, but they do add that little bit of glamour, and you know that they can make things happen. And also, with pre-season, I've noticed fluidity and cohesion amongst the team when they start is difficult, because it has been quite experimental. You know, he's played Wijnaldum out there, he's played Oxlade-Chamberlain up there, Origi is a lone striker, he's mixed up formations. You know, now we get back to a team that knows itself. They know each other, they know each other's game. So hopefully that will be shown tonight. There'll be a bit of fluidity and cohesion amongst the players, and hopefully we can score some goals. But one thing I would like to see is a clean sheet. I'm sure the manager would like to see one as well.
Yeah, that'll be important to him tonight to win the game, won't it, as well? But you talk about those players that are back. Will they be in his mind to maybe start that Community Shield, or would it be too soon for them to come into a game which is almost a competitive one now, isn't it?
No, I mean, as much as they need that rest, you know, they never lose that instinct to obviously play and win and be ready. You know, nowadays they've had, what, 2 weeks off probably, so they're still going to be sharp, they're still going to be at it. It's just they need protecting that it's not overkill for them. So I'm sure he'll have his team penciled in of what he wants to do and who he wants to play, and I'm sure there'll be one or two of the big hitters will probably start on Sunday.
Just finally, Lyon, in terms of an opposition, a decent step up, a competitive game would you expect tonight?
Very much so. You know, they've got some big players. Dembele, who scored 2 against Arsenal at the weekend, he'll be a massive threat. It looks like he could start tonight, where he come off the bench the other day. Yeah, this is a decent outfit. They have been for a few years now. I think it was a 3rd place finish in Ligue 1, wasn't it? It was a way behind a Paris Saint-Germain team that ran away from it, but this is a team full of quality. Obviously, Memphis Depay's got a little tinge of Man United in it as well. Raphael plays. Fekir's obviously left now. He's gone, so we won't see him. But yeah, it's a good opposition, another good test for Liverpool. I think Serginho's going to play near enough his starting 11 because they're at the similar level of what we are at pre-season. So yeah, good test for Jürgen and the boys.
Looking forward to this one tonight, and when we talk about conditions and how the games have been played, certainly in the US, a lot cooler tonight. And as Jason made reference to as well, the pitch is a bit more like a football pitch tonight, which will please the Liverpool manager Jürgen Klopp.
Yeah, the boys there just touching on again the fact that there are boys back in the pack now. How long did you find it took you to get up to your maximum, Stephen?
Oh, you laugh. You know what?
I'm glad you asked him because
yeah.
December.
Yeah, I always talk about 3 or 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
The pre-season games, you get through them to get fitness, but you jump over tackles, you make sure that you're not injured, because the big thing that you want is to play in that first game of the season. The last thing you want to happen is to pick up an injury and to miss sort of 10 weeks or something like that, and miss that pre-season that you need to get in your legs. We keep on saying it, but the pre-seasons are so important for your fitness for the long term. So I always used to go into the first game of the season probably about 70-80%, and it wasn't through a lack of not doing the running at full capability, but you're just not match sharp. And
it's funny because regardless of how good your pre-season goes as an individual, you always seem to be absolutely dead on your feet after the first game of the season.
And it's always the hottest day.
It's just, it's a kind of bizarre scenario. If you ask most professional players, they would say exactly the same thing. That first game, for some reason, it kind of just saps you. I think maybe it's the emotion, the anticipation of getting back into it, and maybe takes something a little bit out of you. But first game is always like, you're always a bit weary.
But based on that, what you said as well, play not being at 100%, being 70%, you get a lot of very random first day results sometimes. Remember the Liverpool at Watford 2 seasons ago, 3-3 all over the place, defensively shocking. But you get that kind of result, that kind of performance early on.
I've been on pre-seasons where it's been flawless, where you've won every game, everything's gone to plan, no one's picked an injury up, and I've been on some where it is just an absolute shambles, and we've gone on and won the first game of the season. I remember being at Blackburn, and it was booked in. We were in a nice hotel in Portugal, got there, and it was an all-inclusive hotel. Lads were on ice cream machines, chicken nuggets and chips, and you're thinking, what's going on here? This is a joke. We ended up going to Goodison and beating Everton 3-2 away from home on the opening game of the season. And we were all going into it thinking anything could happen here. This could be 4-5-0 to Everton. You just don't know. I think not your pride, it's the wrong word, but your belief within yourself changes as soon as you go into that first game. Everything goes out the window, what's happened in pre-season.
I could go some chicken nuggets. The challenge in front of us, are we at a disadvantage because of how many players we've had elsewhere over the summer, even compared to City? You know, they had Gabriel Jesus and 1 or 2, but in terms of key players who've been playing longer elsewhere and come back later, are we at a disadvantage to some of the other sides?
Well, I think you're at a disadvantage straight away, but whether you're at a disadvantage against other sides, I think you have to be capable of handling that. And Steve rightly made a good point earlier on that this is where the manager comes into play. It's a hard task for the manager. But when you're at a top football club like Liverpool are, then you're going to get this on a regular basis. You look at next season, he's going to have it probably even worse next season. So, you know, you've got to be able to cope with that and handle that and deal with that. And that's maybe why I'm a little bit surprised that maybe they haven't gone out and maybe bought a player just to freshen things up a little bit. But, you know, that's obviously the club's choice and Jürgen's choice.
He's decided to go with what he has, and let's see if that pays off. OK, let's run through both starting 11s for you then for this evening's game over in Switzerland. We'll remind you the Liverpool team first. It lines up as follows. Alisson Becker in goal, back four, Yasser Larouci, Dejan Lovren, Joe Gomez, Kiana Hoover, Adam Lallana, Naby Keita and Xherdan Shaqiri are the 3 in midfield. Harry Wilson. Bobby Firmino and Mo Salah will be the front three. For Lyon, well, they have Anthony Lopez in goal, Marcel, Joachim Anderson, Jason Denayer, the Belgian centre-half, and Leo Dupois will be the back four. Thiago Mendes will be the holder in midfield with Houssem Oué on the left and Lucas off the right. Memphis Depay, previously mentioned by the guys a little bit earlier in the programme, and Bertrand Traoré will play off the flanks. Moussa Dembele will play through the middle. Part of France's under-21 side during the summer. Former Celtic man has been linked with Manchester United at times through the course of this summer. Yeah, it's been an interesting spell for them. But yeah, let's go and catch up with another one of the Liverpool squad who is down in the tunnel at the stadium, excuse me, in Switzerland. Speaking with Peter McDowell.
Well, Divock, the last of the pre-season friendlies, what objectives has the manager put in your way tonight?
Just to make the last step, to be courageous, brave, play that game, try to win, but first of all, just play Liverpool football, what we know how to play.
New long-term deal for you. This pre-season's obviously been big for you as well. But what about the season ahead? How much excitement is there for you personally for the new campaign?
I'm so excited. I'm happy that we could finalise and we could commit ourselves, me and the club. I've been here obviously, so I know it a bit, and I think it gives me just more focus for the future. Again, game per game. I know there's going to be good moments as well as difficult moments, so just trying to day per day just perform, and then in the end hopefully try and contribute to the team as much as possible.
It comes around quickly, doesn't it, the start of the season? For most people's money, it happens this Sunday, doesn't it? With Sadio's late arrival, you're going to be in that starting lineup, not just for that, but for the Premier League opener as well.
Well, the thing is with this team is everyone is ready, and we know that we have a big squad. Obviously we want Sadio back, but for now, personally, I'm ready, and then it's up to the coach to make the best choices, which we know he will make, and then yeah, I hope for many minutes. But again, whatever role I'll be playing, I'll be ready.
Thanks, mate. Good luck tonight. Thank you. Thanks, pal.
Yeah, the thoughts of Divock Origi speaking with Peter McDowell over in the stadium. Let's give you the results from our poll a little bit earlier. We asked you how many goals would our front three score across all competitions between them this season. The results are on your screen just now. Yeah, just 14% voted for under 50, thankfully. Confidence hasn't hit a rock bottom after that result at Murrayfield. And then 31% for 50 to 69, 24% for 70 to 89, and some optimistic folk out there also. 31% believe it could be 90 plus goals this season. If you get 90 plus, could be a decent season. Imagine 90 plus goals on top of the defence from last season. Oh, trophies galore. OK, to wrap things up then, boys, what do you want to see from this game? Match 7 of the pre-season game, the final game before it all starts for real.
No injuries. That's all I need. That's all I want to see, because you know that they're gonna run round, they're gonna try the hardest. No injuries to come out of the game.
I think that's the biggest thing. I think when you look at the starting lineup, you know there's going to be changes. Manager mentioned it already. Like the guys that are coming back into the game are only going to play 30 minutes, so you're going to get interruptions in the game on a regular basis, which is never great for like the flow of the game. So I wouldn't expect too much from the game football-wise. But in saying that, fitness is key.
Is it easier if you're one of those guys starting today, one of the new guys returning, call them new guys? You know you've got sort of a 30-minute window. You go, you blow yourself out for 30 minutes, and then that's you done.
It's easier starting a game than coming on in a game that's already flowing, because will we expect Lyon to change their team after 30 minutes? Probably not. So they'll all be still up to speed, and it's very difficult warming up on a sideline, not having kicking a ball, not running at full pelt, not closing people down. It's so much easier to do a full warm-up. That'll be a training session as well. That's what Jürgen will class as a warm-up for them as well. It's a part of a training session to get them into it. So that'll be it is actually a very good idea to start them.
How many places, Gary, do you think Jürgen has nailed down, barring any injuries, for that Community Shield game in less than a week's time next weekend? Well, or how many still do you think up for grabs?
Still,
because I think you could almost box it off, no, because it's Manchester City, because what will be read into that result.
It's whether Jürgen sees it as another match in pre-season or whether he sees it as a trophy to go out and win. From my experience when we were playing, we saw it as another game in pre-season to get fit. We didn't see it as winning the Charity Shield as it was in these days, the Community Shield as it was now. Come the end of the season, we would never put
Pep Jose all claim as a trophy now.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying what we would never consider ourselves winners of the Charity Shield. It was either like the FA Cup, the League Cup, the League, and the Champions League. But you would never consider the Community Shield as a trophy to win. And saying that, I think the game has changed and it has moved on a little bit. And I think there's more significance on this game than maybe what there was certainly in my day. And as you rightly say, playing against a team that's managed by Pep Guardiola, Manchester City, big rivals, you want to do well against them. So, to answer your question, I think the majority of the guys that will start against Norwich will start at the weekend and Sunday against Man City.
Where in the team do you think he has still got question marks then for the weekend? Where do you think he's weighing up, will I play that person? Who goes there?
I think the two wide players, I think it'll be Mane and Salah are the ones he'll look at. I think Firmino, the amount of game time he actually got in the Copa America compared to what Salah and Mane played for their respective countries, he's probably played a lot less. So I think he'll start, and then it's who you start on the wings. The other one that's questionable at the moment is the right-back position. Trent's had a tough time over pre-season. Has he looked as sharp? And then you saw the other day bringing Joe on at right-back, and you know Joe's going to push as hard as he can to get in that team, whether it's centre-back or right-back.
Because I suppose you're looking at the fact that if he sticks with the tried and trusted from the end of the season, Joe Matip will retain his place alongside Virgil van Dijk. So if he wants to get in the team, right-back might be the place where he does get it.
Yeah, and sometimes you've got to look at injury as well. I mean, that's how Joel Matip got in the team, when someone goes down injured and you take that opportunity to come in the team as well. But I do expect Trent to start the season, but I think with the pre-season he's had, I think Gary alluded to it earlier on when you say you've got to up your game this year as well. You can't just say, right, we've won the Champions League and we live off that now. No, it's bigger challenges now. It's can you kick on again and become an elite team. That's a big challenge ahead for all the players.
You get a sense that sort of pre-half-time huddle on the field, the guys did kind of pull themselves back together, and that maybe has refocused them for what lies ahead.
Yeah, possibly. I think that's where the senior players come into their own strengths, isn't it? The likes of Milner's and the likes of Henderson, try and get the best out of the team. Van Dijk has obviously got a big part to play in that as well. So I don't think there'll be any problem come the start of the season, but the Community Shield next week, it's a difficult one to pick a team for that, but I think he will go strong. I think he'll pick his strongest starting 11 possible, and hopefully that'll be enough to get the trophy.
Great stuff, guys. Okay, kickoff is fast approaching. All the action is coming your way live on LFCTV and LFCTV GO. We'll see you in a few minutes.